Hey there, everyone. Welcome back. It's time for another deep dive, and today we're going to be talking about India,
Okay.
specifically what happened after the fall of the Gupta Empire.
All right.
Um, as usual, we've got some notes here.
Yeah.
These are titled India Notes EQ5.pdf. So if
Wow.
you want to follow along, feel free.
Mm.
So I guess to kick things off, we should probably start with the White Huns, right?
Yeah, I think so.
These guys really come in and shake things up in India.
I mean, they're invading from Persia. They're causing chaos.
Yeah, crazy to think about these Huns, right? They'd already swept across Asia into Europe
Yeah.
before even hitting India.
Yeah. So you have to kind of think about what's the ripple effect of these migrations, right? Like
Yeah.
how did that shape the world?
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
And in India, it seems like they really hastened the Gupta Empire's decline.
they did. Yeah.
And of course, without that, unifying force, things start to fragment a little bit.
Things start to fragment.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's something we've seen before in India's history, right?
Yeah, back to that more decentralized system, it seems like.
Yeah.
So what were the consequences of that this time around?
Well, I think, it means more competition. There's more competition between smaller kingdoms.
Mm-hmm.
And, that made it tough to resist new forces that would later arrive, right?
Sure,
But
yeah.
it also allowed for more regional diversity.
Oh, interesting.
So you see that in the art, the politics,
Okay.
even religious ideas.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings us to the Bhakti movement, right?
Yeah.
The notes describe Bhakti Yoga as this really intensely personal way to connect with a Hindu deity.
Yeah.
I mean, how did that impact India at the time? It just seems like such a shift.
Well, I think it's a really good example of how people adapt to change,
Okay.
right? With less centralized power.
Uh,
Bhakti offered people this direct path to spiritual fulfillment.
okay. Yeah.
You didn't have to rely on these elaborate rituals
Yeah.
or, go through priests.
Okay.
It was this much more personal thing. And that made it incredibly popular.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And you see its influence even today.
That's so cool how these things from so long ago can still be relevant, right? So while all this is happening internally, right,
Yeah.
kind of reshaping India,
Yeah.
we've also got this rise of what are called thalassocratic empires.
Why?
I mean, this word thalassocratic sounds like it's
Yeah.
something out of, a fantasy novel or something.
It's a cool word, but it basically just means ruling the sea.
Okay.
And these
Right.
empires
Got it, yeah.
did just that.
Okay.
We're talking about the Chola Empire, right?
Yeah.
In India itself, the Khmer Empire,
Uh-huh.
over in Cambodia, famous for Angkor Wat,
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
and the Srivijaya Empire,
Okay.
which is kind of controlling these key trade routes around Indonesia.
Okay.
These are the maritime superpowers of their day.
I mean, I'm picturing, huge fleets,
Yeah.
control over trade.
Yeah.
I mean, how did they wield so much power from the sea?
Well, I think, they really mastered shipbuilding
Right.
and navigation for that time period.
Yeah.
That let them, control the trade routes, right?
Uh-huh.
Which brought in wealth and influence.
Makes sense, yeah.
You can think of it like, controlling the major highways of the world.
Okay.
But back then it was the sea lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And finally, the notes end with the arrival of the Mongols and Muslims in India,
Right.
kind of setting the stage for the Mughal Empire.
Yeah. Another big shift,
Yeah.
huge turning point.
Really big one.
Right. The Mughals become this last major Indian empire of the medieval period.
Yeah.
But, you think about everything that came before,
Yeah.
right? Like all these regional kingdoms,
Mhm.
the Bhakti movement, the thalassocratic empires.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what if they had dominated instead?
Yeah. Right.
Would India's history have been completely different?
Yeah. Who knows?
It's really interesting to think about.
Yeah, I think it's a great point.
Yeah.
It shows how all these seemingly separate events
Uh-huh.
are kind of intertwined, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, listener, that's about it for our deep dive into India.
Okay.
After the Guptas,
Yeah.
we've journeyed, from crumbling empires to new religious ideas and even to
Yeah.
empires built on the waves.
Yeah.
It leaves a lot to think about,
A lot to think about.
for sure. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. See you later.